Hey y'all, here's our workshop for our Break the Internet project. So you're going to go to just wikipedia.org and you are going to open up the Google Chrome Web Inspector. So it's really important that you do this on Google Chrome. There are web inspector tools on other browsers, but for this tutorial, just go ahead and use Google Chrome. You may have to download it, but it will make your life a lot easier to do this process with Google Chrome. Okay, so you're just going to do a control click and hit inspect. You can also hit Command Option I. That'll be in your worksheet as well. And that's going to bring up this web inspector here, okay? And so I'll first show you how you could set this up. So there's a couple different ways that you could set this up. If you hit these dev tools over here, all right, you can control where you want this to go, okay? Oops, this one here. And then you can detach it too. So you can decide like where you want it to go and also detach it. So I'm going to put it, I like to put it over on this side here. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that it's on elements here. Okay. Okay, so you can drag this, you can make it bigger and smaller. All right, so the thing that's really important to understand is that HTML is going to be comprised of HTML elements, and if this doesn't make sense to you just now, don't worry about it too much. So it's comprised of HTML elements, which you can see here. So as you sort of hover over them in the Elements tab, you can kind of see like what part of the code this is. So this is for like this central logo here. And then what will happen down here, and I'm going to get rid of this here. So I'll just get rid of this completely. This is where my CSS is going to be. Okay, so HTML is what puts stuff on the page, and then CSS is what tells it how to behave visually and how to look. Okay, so what I can do is I can get the already authored CSS down here. So like for instance, this is the element, and then this down here is a CSS for this given element. And then its property value pairs. Okay, so this is all CSS. This is the property, this is the value, this is the name of the element, search container, and then this is the element up here. See how you can see it's named the same thing? Okay, that's your crash course into HTML, CSS. You're gonna learn the fuck out of that as we continue on in our journey together. But for now, we're just gonna kind of start messing with some stuff. All right, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is I am going to just start to target some of these pieces of text. And the way that I can do that is I can control click on them, hit inspect. All right, so again, you're just going to do control click, inspect, okay? And then that's going to give you this, it's going to select this element, okay? We're going to be working in here. See where it says element style? This is the CSS that's already defined. We're going to be working in here. And what this little section does, where it says element style here, this allows you to overwrite any CSS that's already authored. So you don't have to really mess around with what somebody else wrote. You can actually just write your own CSS in here, okay? So I'm going to start throwing some properties and values in there. And then I'll show you how you can use the worksheet to do more, even more custom CSS properties and values. So let's just do color. Color is just going to pertain to the text. We'll change it red. And we can do, let's say, width. Actually, let's do font size. And as I'm typing here, it kind of gives you lots of little hints. So I would highly encourage you to be using these hints. So let's do like 10 VW is the unit of measurement we're going to use. Okay. And then let's give it a background color. So background color here, and let's say purple. Okay, and let's say I want this background here. Let's say I want it to span this whole width, right? Let's say I want it to be bigger. I can then give it a width. Let's say like 50 VW. And then check it out. When you're inside the value, see how my little cursor is blinking? You can actually just use your arrow keys to kind of toggle things up and toggle things down. And the reason why this is sort of faded out right here is because that's what I'm selected on. And then we can also give it a height. So let's do 40 VW. All right, so I got something that looks kind of interesting here. And then let's try something else. Let's do opacity. Let's do, so opacity works from a 0, which would be totally opaque, and a 1, which would be totally transparent. So if I put a 1 in here, oops, I lied to you. If I put a 0 in here, it'll be totally transparent. If I put like a 0.5, it'll be just a little bit see-through. Okay, so that's sort of your primer, more in the next video.